In the golden glow of Hollywood's most glamorous era, fame looked like the ultimate destination. The lights were brighter than ever, the applause thundered across grand theaters, and the world adored the stars who seemed to have everything. Yet behind the velvet curtains and dazzling premieres, some of Hollywood's biggest icons felt a quiet emptiness that success alone could not fill. At the height of their careers, when awards, wealth, and global admiration surrounded them, something deeper began to call them. For a handful of legendary actors from the golden age of cinema, that call led them towards faith and spiritual transformation. Their journeys were not about escaping Hollywood, but about discovering purpose beyond the spotlight. These stories reveal moments of crisis, reflection, and powerful encounters that changed the direction of their lives. From personal struggles to life-altering realizations, these stars found something far greater than fame. What they discovered reshaped their identities and inspired millions who followed their journeys. Today, we explore 10 unforgettable stories of Golden Age actors who looked beyond Hollywood and found God. The Robe, 1953. The Ten Commandments, 1956. The monumental film The Ten Commandments from 1956 remains one of the most iconic biblical epics ever produced. Directed by Cecil B. DeMille and starring Charlton Heston as Moses, the film tells the story of Moses' journey from Egyptian prince to the chosen leader who delivers God's commandments to the people of Israel. While the film was a massive cinematic spectacle filled with unforgettable scenes like the parting of the Red Sea, its deeper message was about faith, obedience, and divine purpose. For Charlton Heston, portraying Moses became a defining role that followed him throughout his career. The experience of embodying such a legendary spiritual figure often led actors to reflect on their own beliefs and values. The film inspired audiences worldwide and became a cultural milestone, frequently broadcast during religious holidays. Beyond its visual grandeur, the Ten Commandments carried a powerful message about the search for meaning, reminding both viewers and performers that faith can transform lives, even in the world of Hollywood. Ben-Hur, 1959. Released in 1959, Ben-Hur is widely regarded as one of the greatest films ever made. Starring Charlton Heston as Judah Ben-Hur, the story follows a Jewish prince betrayed by his childhood friend and forced into slavery, only to rise again through courage and faith. The film's narrative unfolds alongside the life of Jesus Christ, subtly weaving spiritual themes of forgiveness, redemption, and transformation. What made the movie especially powerful was how Judah's journey from vengeance to forgiveness mirrored the deeper message of Christ's teachings. For audiences and actors alike, the story resonated on a deeply emotional level. The film won an astonishing 11 Academy Awards and became a monumental success, but its true impact went far beyond awards. The spiritual undertones reminded viewers that true victory is not found in revenge or fame, but in compassion and faith. Many people who worked on or watched the film described feeling spiritually moved by its powerful message. King of Kings, 1961. The 1961 film King of Kings presented a dramatic retelling of the life of Jesus Christ, bringing biblical history to the big screen in a way that captivated audiences worldwide. Starring Jeffrey Hunter as Jesus, the film portrayed the teachings, miracles, and ultimate sacrifice that define the foundation of Christian faith. During Hollywood's golden age, religious films often sparked renewed interest in spiritual conversations, and King of Kings played a major role in that movement. Actors and filmmakers involved in the project had to approach their roles with deep respect for the sacred material they were portraying. For many viewers, the film served as a powerful reminder of Christ's message of love, forgiveness, and humility. Watching the story unfold on such a grand cinematic scale inspired countless people to reflect on their own faith journeys. The movie's emotional storytelling and reverent tone made it a lasting classic that continues to influence faith-based cinema today. The Greatest Story Ever Told, 1965. Released in 1965, The Greatest Story Ever Told aimed to present the life of Jesus Christ with epic scale and reverence. Starring Max von Sydow as Jesus, the film brought together an extraordinary cast of Hollywood stars to portray the most important moments of the New Testament. Its sweeping landscapes, powerful dialogue, and solemn tone gave audiences a deeply reflective viewing experience. The film's central theme focused on the compassion, sacrifice, and spiritual teachings of Christ. For many actors involved, participating in such a project required them to contemplate the profound message behind the story. Hollywood had long been fascinated by biblical epics, but this film approached the subject with an especially contemplative and respectful style. While its production was massive in scope, the heart of the film remained the quiet message of faith and redemption. Viewers around the world were reminded that the story of Jesus continues to inspire reflection and spiritual discovery, even generations later. The clash between the Roman Empire and early Christianity during the reign of Emperor Nero. Starring Robert Taylor and Deborah Kerr, the film tells the story of a Roman general who falls in love with a Christian woman and gradually begins to understand the power of her faith. As persecution of Christians intensifies, the story highlights the courage and devotion of believers who refuse to abandon their convictions. The film portrays how faith can transform even the most hardened hearts. For audiences during the golden age of Hollywood, the story carried a powerful message about spiritual conviction and moral courage. The movie's dramatic portrayal of early Christian history helped viewers imagine the struggles faced by the first believers. Beyond its spectacle and romance, Quo Vadis ultimately tells a story about discovering truth and purpose, reminding viewers that faith can flourish even in the most difficult circumstances. Samson and Delilah, 1949. The 1949 film Samson and Delilah brought the famous biblical story from the Book of Judges to life with dramatic intensity. Directed by Cecil B. DeMille and starring Victor Mature and Hedy Lamarr, the movie explores the legendary strength of Samson and the tragic betrayal by Delilah. At its core, the story is about faith, temptation, and redemption. Samson's strength is portrayed as a gift from God, but his downfall comes through pride and misplaced trust. The film's grand sets, emotional performances, and powerful climax captivated audiences worldwide. However, the deeper message lies in the idea that true strength comes from spiritual devotion rather than physical power. For many viewers, the film served as both entertainment and a moral lesson about faith and humility. Biblical epics like this played an important role in shaping Hollywood's golden age, reminding audiences that timeless spiritual stories could resonate just as strongly on the big screen. The Song of Bernadette, 1943. The Song of Bernadette, released in 1943, tells the remarkable true story of Bernadette Soubirous, a young French girl who claimed to have seen visions of the Virgin Mary in Lourdes. Starring Jennifer Jones in an Academy Award-winning performance, the film portrays Bernadette's unwavering faith despite skepticism, ridicule, and hardship. The story focuses on how a humble girl from a poor family becomes the center of a spiritual phenomenon that captures the attention of the entire world. What made the film so moving was its gentle portrayal of innocence and devotion. Bernadette's faith never wavered, even when authorities and townspeople doubted her claims. The film inspired audiences by showing how genuine belief can endure even in the face of doubt and adversity. Its message about humility, perseverance, and spiritual conviction made it one of the most beloved faith-inspired films of Hollywood's golden age. The Nun's Story, 1959. Released in 1959, The Nun's Story starred Audrey Hepburn in one of the most powerful performances of her career. The film tells the story of a young Belgian woman who enters a convent, seeking to dedicate her life entirely to God. As she undergoes rigorous training and eventually serves as a nurse in the Congo, she struggles with the tension between obedience and personal identity. The film explores the complex emotional and spiritual challenges faced by those who choose a life of devotion. Audrey Hepburn's subtle and deeply human performance captured the inner conflicts of a woman trying to surrender her will completely to faith. Rather than presenting a simple narrative, the film shows the reality of spiritual commitment and the sacrifices it demands. Its thoughtful storytelling and introspective tone made it one of the most respected faith-themed films of its era. Going My Way, 1944. The 1944 classic Going My Way offered a different perspective on faith by telling the story of a warm-hearted young priest who transforms a struggling parish through kindness and music. Starring Bing Crosby as Father Chuck O'Malley, the film blends humor, heartfelt drama, and uplifting themes of compassion and forgiveness. Unlike large biblical epics, this film focuses on everyday faith lived through simple acts of kindness and community support. Father O'Malley's approach to ministry emphasizes understanding and empathy rather than strict authority. The film resonated strongly with audiences during World War II, offering hope and comfort in uncertain times. Bing Crosby's performance became legendary and helped make the character one of the most beloved portrayals of a religious figure in cinema. Through its warm storytelling and uplifting message, Going My Way reminded viewers that faith can quietly transform lives through love, patience, and generosity. The Robe, 1953. When the epic biblical film The Robe premiered in 1953, it became one of the most influential religious films of its time. The story follows Roman tribune Marcellus Gallio, portrayed by Richard Burton, who oversees the crucifixion of Jesus and later experiences a profound spiritual transformation. What made the film especially powerful was its message about redemption, faith, and the life-changing power of belief. For many viewers, the film wasn't just entertainment, it was a spiritual experience. Actors involved in the film reportedly spoke about how portraying characters connected to the story of Christ made them reflect deeply on their own beliefs. During Hollywood's golden age, biblical epics often sparked renewed conversations about faith, and The Robe stood at the center of that movement. Its emotional storytelling, grand production design, and deeply spiritual themes helped audiences see faith through the lens of powerful human drama. For some in Hollywood, projects like this became the beginning of deeper spiritual journeys beyond fame and success. The golden age of Hollywood gave the world unforgettable stars and legendary films, but some of its most powerful stories happened beyond the cameras. For many actors and filmmakers, working on spiritually themed projects sparked deeper questions about life and purpose. These films continue to inspire audiences because they remind us that faith can emerge even in the most glamorous corners of the world. Behind the fame and fortune, the search for meaning remains universal, and sometimes the brightest lights of Hollywood lead people toward an even greater light.